Okay, let's make this credit card ruler in Protractor. The dimensions of this credit card are the standards of 85.6 millimeters. And so we can go ahead and get started. One of the things we might do before we get started here is make sure the background is plain and white like that. So that way, when you take a screenshot later, it'll look good in your portfolio. So here we go. File new. I guess we've already done that really. Go down here. Let's do a center point rectangle. Put this on the top plane. I'm going to 3D print this out later. Notice I have millimeters down here at the bottom and smart dimension time. And you can see that it says 85.6, and then the other dimension is going to be 53.98. Looks like we're going to have radius of curvature on these corners of 3.18. That's the standard for industry credit cards. So we're going to use this kind of fillet rather than the other kind of fillet over here. Since we're doing a sketch, we're going to use this fillet, and we can put that there. And of course, we don't want it to look that big. Really just want it to be 3.18. All right, so we got that taken care of. Now we're going to make a thickness of about 1/4 of a millimeter. So we go OK to that. And then you go OK to the sketch fillet, extrude this up, not that far, 0.76. Since I'm in millimeters, I don't really have to type those. You'll see that some of these dimensions are, especially for the ruler, are in inches. And so we'll have to handle that by putting the double quote like that, 4 inches. All right, so let's go ahead and make the ruler at the top. All right, so let's see, let's do it in centimeters. Okay, so it's going to be a centimeter ruler for our pocket. So let's go ahead and hit OK right there. And we're going to zoom in on this plate to start drawing. So we can right click, start sketching, and we're going to sketch up here on the upper right hand side. Now it doesn't look like it's facing me. You can actually do something like this if you want to, or just draw it as it was. I'm using my scroll wheel to zoom in, and I'm going to start my first tick mark, not at the edge like that right there, but a little bit in from there. Let's look at the instructions to see how this is going to go. We'll move this over this way just a bit, and this way over here. It says what you want to do for the centimeter mark right here is you want them to be a 64th of an inch by a 64th of an inch by 5/16. So let's do that. And what we need to do really there is just do a corner rectangle. And so maybe we can lock in right there to that tangent line right there and make something bigger than what we really needed to have it. Then right here, this is the one that's going to be 5/16. And remember to type in the units on this one because it's different than the default units, 5/16, and then inches. And then for the length of this right here, it's going to be a 64th. 1/64th of an inch is about 0.4 millimeters. We're going to extrude that up also by 0.64. I'm sorry, 1/64th, so 1/64th of an inch or 0.4 millimeters about. And there that is. And so we have our first tick mark there. Now we just need to repeat that bar all the way across here and go as far as we can. So we need to be on features and do this repeating linear pattern right there. And it says basically we're going to take this pattern and we need to tell it which direction. Usually an edge right here will define what the direction is. So we go like that. And you see that it's lined up all the way to the edge. Looks like it automatically put 8 in there. If I try to put 9, it really puts it too close to the edge there, and it might just, yeah, it's kind of leaning off the edge. So we'll just leave it at 8. And we're going every 10 millimeters. In other words, every 1 centimeter for those mark. So we can mark that one right there as done. And now we've done the linear pattern also. Now we're going to make the 1/2 millimeter mark, this little mark right there, and it's going to be 9/32. So let's go ahead and do that next. And I've lost my part, but don't forget to do this, right? Okay, so hit OK to that. And what we're going to do is draw another rectangle. I wonder if we can just draw it right on top of that one. Yeah, I guess that wouldn't really hurt. Okay, so what we can do is just, excuse me, maybe suppress that, or which way do we want to do that? I guess we can just put the other one right out here. That way there's no confusion about an overlap there. So we're going to sketch and using the corner rectangle and lock it anywhere in here. going to select this surface and lock it anywhere in here and go like that. Of course, it's too big, so we want to go over here and select 9/32 of an inch. That way, you can see it's a little bit shorter than the other one. And again, on this one, 1/64 of an inch, enter. We can go ahead and extrude it, but at first it looks like it needs to be placed properly because it's not, it needs to be in the midpoint between those two. So our Smart Dimension tool at that corner and this corner right here is going to help us out. So we're going to go here and there. And what we want to do is make that 5 mm. And so it should be halfway between the two. And we'll go ahead and extrude that feature up. Again, we're going to do that by 1/64 of an inch. I think that was the default that was in there anyway. And we're going to repeat that pattern just like we did before. So linear pattern. It's going to say what edge do you want to use to multiply this out or repeat the pattern. You're going to go right here. And we're going to repeat that every centimeter as you see there. And then we don't want to go too far. So looks like I think it said 8 right there would be good enough. So we're getting almost done here. Just want to, now we want to put in the last one, which is the hash marks at the 1 mm mark. So we'll go in here, sketch on this surface. It says what surface do you want to draw, and you say this one. Put an arbitrary size rectangle there. It says to make it 1/4 inch in length, 0.25 inches, and a 64th this way, 1/64th. I said it was 0.4. It's really about 0.4. As you'll see when I hit that right there, I think it says, yeah, 0.396, which is about 0.4. We need to properly place it. It needs to be 1 mm from this other one. So sketch, oh, sorry, Smart Dimension, turn that on and go there and there. And we want to put this at 1 mm and go ahead and extrude that up and do a linear pattern all the way across. So agree to that, boss base. And then we're going to repeat this every 1 mm this time. Okay, so let's see, it says what to do next here is to pick a direction for that repeating pattern. You say this edge here, just anywhere there. We're gonna need a lot more than what we have there. So I'm guessing that we probably need to multiply it by 10. So let's just put 80, see if that works. Oh, I put 81 by accident. That's okay, let's go out here and see if that's how many we need to get out to the edge. And you can see this really going over the edge just a little too far. So what we can do is kind of look right there. Let's back it off by 1, maybe 2. Is that going to be good enough? Let's check that tangent line right there. And I think we're going to be close enough. There might be a little bit of overlap there, but that will be okay. All right, so let's go okay like that. And let's take a good look at our part by going like this. Looks pretty good. We can even, I guess, face it this direction here, pick on that surface, and go over like this. All right, so now we need to put some numbers up in here. And I want to try to use these standards for credit cards. I wonder if we could change the default font so that we're always using the same font through the whole thing. Okay, so we can probably do that in a moment. Yeah. All right, so we need to put a line on which we're going to put these letters right here, or these marks, rather. And so let's do sketch. And we'll do this right here and go all the way across here. All right, now let's see if we can change the default font for this. Let me pause the video and find that feature, or that setting rather. Okay, now I'm going to go full screen with this because I think I have the rest of this understood. This thing keeps flying out on me, so I'm keep pushing it back. And to select the default font, you want to go Tools and then Options, Document Properties right there, and it corresponds to this document here. Click on Annotations, that top one, select Font, and we're going to select OCR. That's the optical optical character recognition font that we use on credit cards. So 3.175 is going to be our height for this. Seems like I remember that worked out well for the font size when we did this in class. Let's put our fonts up here and do that right there. And how about 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it didn't look like it took that right there. So let me click back up here, click right there. Now we're doing better. I think we had to space it out like a couple of spaces like this to get it right. Oh, we need to start with 0. So I did 0 space space and then 3 space space 4. Just you could also, carefully place these as well if you want to do it that way. Now, in order to make it line up, what you do is you grab this dotted line on which we are drawing and move that around so that the 0 is right below there. Okay, almost there. Right about there, I'd imagine. Maybe a little bit more over. So got it right underneath that. And you can see my font size is not really right because it really needs to stretch out some more. I wonder if I needed to maybe put an extra space in there, if that would make the difference. No, that's too much. So what we'll do down here is go to font and we'll change this right here to 3.25 and see if that gets us closer. Maybe it's 3.75. I'm trying to remember what we actually used when we did that. 3.75. That made it a little bit too much because these should line up like so. I'll try 3.5. All right, it looks like it lined up pretty well, except for looks like we don't really need 8 because it went off the screen over there. So we're going to delete that. And we're still going to adjust it even further. So you know, just a little bit bigger to get the 7 under there. Okay, so we'll just say 5, 3, 5, 5. And that looks good enough for us. So we're going to click OK to that. Now we have our ruler in place, but we really need to raise those letters up. So we're going to go to Features, Extrude, and the same 64th of an inch is going to be a good idea. 1/64th of an inch. Whoops, 64 inch. All right, that should give us the raised lettering that we want. Now what we're going to do is put our protractor in the middle. So we'll freeform the protractor and excuse me, and then put our degrees on there. I was just thinking that we probably need to tell the user that this is centimeters. So let's go back to this one and just put centimeters out here at the very edge, just so we have some kind of indication about what units are on there. So we edit that sketch, double click, and let's go out here where this is, space, centimeters. It goes off the chart a little bit, so come back. Right about there ought to do it. Telling the user what units we are using, and then you can roll those changes forward. Next, what we're going to do is do the cutout of the protractor right here. So we need to make a semicircle, and a circle. I don't remember exactly what units we used on these, so I'm just going to freeform it. I do want to have a space for my name down here at the bottom, so we'll put that on last. So let's see. Let's go ahead and make a bisector to this credit card. So we want to draw on this face, find the middle of this, and draw all the way across. No, that doesn't look like, oh yeah, I guess that is all the way across. We could really stop it right here because all we're really looking to do is put the circle right down here, anywhere along here, and we'll change this a little bit later. In class, I think we made this one 3 millimeters. That looks to be a good size. Then we made another circle around there that we cleaned up later. So I think something like that. I think we said 9 on this one. So there's 9, and then there's the 3 right there. And now we need to make these lines going out from here. So we'll make those solid lines, lock into the midpoint right there of that circle, and just go out here an arbitrary distance. We'll figure out how long those need to be in a bit. They are going to be need to be equal in length. So we can go ahead and do that part like that. So let's do a click right here on that, a shift click the other one, and make these equal in length. If we try to put an arc in there, I can already see that this is going to be too big of an arc and it's going to cut into our ruler a little bit. So we do tangent, we do a circle that starts in the center. Oh, I had to select a sketch segment. Sorry about that. Let's see, am I still in my sketch? Okay, let me try that again. So semicircle, start right here. Oh, I'm in the wrong one here. So I need to be on this one. I was wondering what it was doing. So 1, 2, 3, center, and then 2 points along the edge. All right, so right here, and then we want the other one to be way out over here. And then we will go this direction, and then hopefully we can lock into this one. Now, hopefully it just understands that now we're coincident. That's good. With that symbol appears, that means that it's going to stay locked into position. If it's not, like, I don't see one over here, for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select here and there and see if it'll let me do a coincident. Yeah, it doesn't really have that for some reason. I guess we'll figure out how we can lock that in using another approach. I just thought that that arc in this line, you could actually make it coincident. It wants to make it tangent, but that just doesn't make any sense. As you can see right there, it doesn't like that. If you make an arrow like that, you can just click on it and delete it. Now what we want to do is trim out the part that we don't want to cut. So we use trim entities, trim here and there. And so now we're ready to cut that out, but you can see it's too long and it goes over my other numbers. Fortunately, what we can do is after we close trim entities is just grab this and then pull it down like that. So we can really just place this anywhere on there we want, as since we haven't got this shape fully defined. So sometimes there's advantages to making things not fully defined. Maybe before we start doing that, though, we can put our name down here at the bottom to figure out how much room we have up here to put our protractor. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our name, and the way we're going to do that is just get out of the sketch for now. I guess we can go ahead and punch a hole in it, right? Let's go ahead and punch the hole. So since we're on the sketch already, we can just go like this and say extrude cut, and we'll go all the way through. So we'll just go through all, and okay. And so now we have our hole there. Let's go ahead and put our name on this surface. So we can right click on this surface and say sketch, put our dotted line there for drawing on. I'm just going to put it an arbitrary location here, making sure it's parallel to the edge. Then we'll get my drawing tool out here, put it right there. And it says, what curve do you want to use? It didn't recognize that I clicked on it. Now it did. Put my whole name on there. If I want it to be like center justified, I click right there. If it looks upside down or backwards, you just click on these things until you get it around to the right location. Let's see what font it's actually using. Hopefully it's the default font that we selected. Sure. All right. And then what we can do is extrude that up. The 0.4 or, 1/64th of an inch. All right, let's see how that looks. If we click OK, does it give it some raised appearance to it? Yeah, looking like a credit card. So now we can go back to this other sketch right here where we extrude cutting, right click, edit, and then see if we want to make it a little bit bigger or if we're okay with it. Now that the lettering's gone there, I wonder if we can actually move it out of order. Can we pull this one up here? Yeah, it looks like we could pull it out of order so that when we come down here, you can actually see where the lettering is. It's not necessary that you do that, but I want to give myself some more space. Then I can grab this right here, make it just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to put 90 degrees up here. So I guess this might look okay. I can always come back later and adjust that. Okay, so let's make little hash marks over here off to the side. Then we'll add numbers to it. I think in class I did it every 45 degrees. I think I'll make it, I don't know, maybe every 5 degrees might be okay as well. So let's come down here to this corner. Let's put a rectangle on this surface. So right click and sketch. And we're going to use a corner rectangle. And we're going to go from here beyond and then out like this. You might even say, just draw it further out in space. I did a Control Z there. That way we can force it to lock in where we want. If you just kind of draw it here, that way you can say, I want the midpoint of here, click, and then shift, and I want that point right there to line up, coincident. Now let's size it. And we can use some of the similar sizes we did before. So smart dimension, we wanted that to be 1/64th. And this size looks pretty good, I think. Might be a little bit too long. Let's make it about half as long as it is there. And so that would be about 3 millimeters. Click OK, and then we're going to extrude that again by 1/64th. It looks like it remembered it. And there it is. And so now it's right there on the edge like we want. And we're going to do a circular pattern now. So repeat this pattern all the way around there. We've been playing around with linear patterns. We're going to do a circular pattern. It knows that we want to focus on that part. The direction we want to select is around that arc. And it looks like it went the right way. So if it goes the wrong way, you just click on this over here and you see that it went that direction. And we don't want it to go 360 degrees. We really want it to be 180. And so you can see it put those in there. How about every 5 degrees? Oh, wait, it says, okay, 180, enter. And so if we say every 5 degrees, we can go like that and kind of guess at it. I guess what we can do though is, how about distance spacing instead? We could say every 5 degrees like this, and then just start increasing this until we get all the way across to the other side. That might look just a little bit better. I'm not sure, but I don't see how we're going to fit up here at the top where it says 90 degrees. So maybe that wasn't such a great idea after all. Let's change it to every 15 degrees and just kind of be happy with that. Because now we can maybe fit the 90 in there if we, adjust the size just a little bit. Now you can see that we went too far, so we do want to back this off and reduce these numbers until those yellows come back over here. So it looks like it's going to be 13 tick marks that we're repeating. Then click OK. And so now we have those marks along there. Let's just label the 45-degree mark, the 90, and the 100, then the 180. Oh yeah, 135 as well. I wonder if we could just freeform and put this right here, sketch that there. And we want this to be 0 degrees. I'm going to go steal the degree symbol from somewhere else. I'm just going to go over here and type in degree symbol. There is a shortcut on your keyboard to get to the degree symbol. Oh, there it is right there. You do Alt 0176. But how about, instead of trying to remember that crazy sequence, we can just say that right there, paste it in. So I'm going to have that in my memory so I can always just hit Control V. Now to move this, I guess you can click over here and just kind of move it around until you get it where you want. I think in class I made a horizontal line and put the number in there, but we'll just make it freeform to see if it saves us a little bit of time. This would be the 45-degree mark. So we want to go right there, right click and sketch, or, oh, we're already in the sketch. All right, so get the lettering tool out again. And up here, we will say 45. And then Control V for that. And then you can just kind of click around here. Oops, I don't want that because it kind of lined up with this thing over here. Let me hit delete on that. And let's see if I can get it to place properly. If I go down here, will it let me place it? I go over here. Yeah, I thought that this other one, I had been able to place it just by clicking around. But it doesn't look like that's doing it in this case. Let me try it one more time. So we're still in Etch Sketch mode here. I think if we just click 45 degrees here, it puts it out there by the origin. Then we say we really want it here. Now, usually it'll take it and put it over there. Not so lucky this time. Okay, so we'll have to do it the proper way, and that is to put a line down here on which we are going to draw. So we'll put a line out here and we'll say, here's where the 45 number is going to be. Then over here, here is where the 125 is going to be, or 135. And then over here, we're still doing our center line. This is where we want the 180 to be. And then what we'll do is do one more. I was hitting escape there to stop the line. One more in here. I'm just going to squeeze it in like that. Let's see if that's going to work for us. So here, then click on this line to draw on it. Oop, there it is. Line 4, 90, Control V. And it didn't quite give us the degree symbol in there. So all we do in that case is to try to stretch this thing out here. Now it looks like it just is waiting on us to hit OK and then move it like this. Okay, and then we can make it so that it's not overlapping. It looks like I got to go all the way over here. Okay, that's going to have to be close enough. Crazy looking font there. All right, let's put another one over here. So get our lettering, put it here, 45, line number 1, 45, Control V. And we can left justify that by going like this. Looks good. Then do it again over here. We're going to right justify this one. It's going to be 135. So that's basically 90 plus 45 degrees. And it's upside down. We've noticed that in class also. So you just click here and there, and then also probably increase the size of this thing here. All right, looks like it's center justifying it perhaps, but maybe not. Oops, okay, let me go back to editing the sketch. Here we go. So double click on that. And it does look like we can, oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so because it's a flipped picture, we have to say left just to justify because it was flipping the text to upside down. One more to go. That would be this one. And we're almost done. 180 degrees. Click OK. Not enough space on there for it. So increase the size of this. Figure out how we can get it in there. Even if we have to go back and change the font size for all of these, we can still probably figure this out. Okay, so that one didn't quite work. That one didn't quite work. Can I get it if I just move it like this? Even if the degree symbol is above the tick mark? Okay, I barely got it in there. Okay, you could change the size of the font if y'all want to do that. That will be fine. Yeah, let's extrude those out and see how it looks. Remember to use 1/64th, which is going to be that default that we've been putting in right there. Click OK, and we have a finished part. We have a credit card ruler, protractor. So save that as credit card, upload that to D2L, and you're good to go. Let me know if you have any questions.